Rams house. In today's video on the Rams Report by Chat Sports, we're building on the offseason theme. We got started with our perfect offseason video with a 3-round mock draft. Our 1.0 mock in today's video. We're not going to do all 7 rounds just yet. We'll save that till a little closer to the draft. But today we're going to knock out the first 3, which does include our 2 first-round picks. First time since 2014 we've had 2 picks in the first round. And you guys know who we got that year? Aaron Donald. Let's look at the needs we need to address on the board. We've looked at this list before. True number 1 corner. I think we can all agree that when you think about roster need-wise, that is the number 1 need for the Rams. A true, elite, lockdown corner. That is something we have talked about over and over again. It is something I will continue to talk about until it is no longer true. Number 2, we need a third wide receiver. Obviously, Tutu Atwell is an outgoing free agent. He's a pending free agent right now for the Rams. We've talked about it before. I don't think he's going to return. Probably wasn't the best use of that $10 million. Right tackle depth behind Warren McClendon is a notable issue, with Rob Havenstein likely going to retire. Safety could be interesting if you don't retain Cam Curl. And then lastly, quarterback. I don't really think this is going to be a major need this season, but it's worth keeping in the back of the mind that it's always possible that number 9 calls it a career, although he strongly indicated to sources that he's coming back next year. But let's get into the draft. With those 5 needs in mind, let's start our draft. And I ran this on the PFF mock draft simulator, so that's where you'll see these other picks come in. So some of the picks are, I'm not going to lie to you, a little wonky outside of us. Maybe the guys that are on the board won't actually be on the board in real life, but here's how the first 10 shook out. Number 1, I think we can all agree that's probably accurate. The Raiders are almost certainly going to take Fernando Mendoza. Number 2 is a little bit of a head-scratcher for me. Jordan Tyson goes off the board. That's actually somebody we've talked about as a potential target for the Rams at 13. So according to PFF, we're wasting our time with that, but I don't really think that's the case. I think he will be there. Ruben Bain at 3rd. David Bailey goes 4th. Caleb Downs goes 5th. That's another guy we've talked about a lot for the Rams. Don't think that's an unrealistic landing spot for him, but do think he has a wide variety of outcomes. Arvell Reese at 6th, Jeremiah Love at 7th, Peter Woods goes 8th, Sonny Styles, goes 9th to Kansas City. Carnell Tate off the board 10th to the Cincinnati Bengals. That might be the closest to us that he's ever wound up. And then 2 more picks ahead of us. Jermod McCoy, he goes to the Miami Dolphins. This was a bummer. I hated to miss out on Jermod McCoy going off the board to the Miami Dolphins. This is somebody we've talked about a lot, a player I think would be really fantastic for us. 12th was Caleb Banks, and then 13th overall, I did something that I know is going to make a lot of you guys very happy. We bring in Makai Lemon out of USC. I've made no secret about it when I've talked draft targets. I love this kid. I think he would be an excellent addition. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, Mansour Delane was on the board, but Makai was sitting there talking to me like the Green Goblin mask, guys. The opportunity to add the 3rd wide receiver, and not just a 3rd wide receiver to this offense, a truly elite one. Makai Lemon could be a receiver number 1 for a lot of NFL teams. Don't get me wrong here. I'm going to show you this depth chart, and he's 3rd. But think about that in the context of Puka Nacua and Davante Adams being your 1-2. And no, Makai will develop into the eventual number 2 with Puka. How's that offense sound for maybe the next 1-2 years? Those 3 dudes with Matthew Stafford playing at this level? Who is stopping that? At the risk of sounding like one of those Instagram accounts that just posts nonsense traits, who is stopping that offense? Literally, give me a defense out there, because it ain't going to be the Seattle Seahawks and it ain't going to be the Houston Texans, the 2 best defenses in the NFL. You add in Makai Lemon, those teams are not stopping you. I promise you that. And this team is only going to get better as we continue to go through this draft. We're going to make some excellent picks, not to toot my own horn, but this thing played out beautifully for us. You guys are going to love the way it went. And we will address that defense with these next couple picks. I promise you we'll get there. But before we do, I got to give a shout out to you guys. Unbelievable on the video that we did on the perfect offseason. 532 subs, guys. Are you kidding me? Wow. Huge shout out to you guys. Way to show the bosses that the Rams Report is growing fast, that it is one of the upcoming channels here at Chat Sports, and that it needs more videos. And the way we keep proving to the bosses that that's the case, the way we get even more content on this channel is more days like we just had. 532 subs was absolutely awesome. Can we beat it today? Be really impressive if we did. I know that would turn some heads in this office. But let's keep going. 29th overall, Colton Hood. Told you guys we'd address defense. Told you we weren't going to wait long to do it. With our second first-round pick, and I've talked about in the past, there is a chance in a world, might I say, in which you trade this for a guy like Trent McDuffie. But what about Colton Hood, a corner out of Tennessee who I really think could be the number one guy that we've needed for a very long time? He spent 2023 at Tennessee, 2023 at Colorado before spending 2024 at Tennessee. And in his 1 year in the SEC, which I've said it before, I'll say it again, I think that's the highest level of competition at the college football level. I think it's the best way to evaluate guys is when they play at the SEC level. It's the closest thing you're going to see to the NFL, although obviously nothing is directly comparable. 53 targets, 28 receptions, 318 yards allowed into his coverage for a less than 70 passer rating. And he was even better in the Big 12 in 2024 at Colorado. So you have 2 straight seasons of lockdown corner play from Colton Hood, of him being a true number one, somebody that's disruptive at the catch point in the way that we need. And he is not a little guy. He's 6'1", over 200 pounds, would bring some size to this secondary, something I know you guys have desperately asked for years, something I've been desperately asking for years. Can we stop drafting 5'10" corners? He's not 5'10". Second round, we'll flip into this. These kind of roll together. Our 61st overall selection, give me Dillon Thieneman out of Oregon, the safety. We're double dipping on the secondary, guys. And if there was a dude to double dip with, it is absolute stud Thieneman. This guy is Caleb Downs is unbelievable. Caleb Downs is the best safety in this class, and then there's a pretty big gap. But I think right there is Dillon. He's right there at number 2. He's an absolute stud. He was phenomenal for Purdue in 2024 before transferring to Oregon in 2025 as one of the top transfers in the entire class and showing out with this team, helping them go to the college football playoff again. 15 games played, 96 tackles, 3.5 for loss, 2 picks, and 5 PBUs. Like Colton Hood, he is constantly around the football. This is a young replacement for Cam Curl, and you get him in the 3rd round. And you think about this, the back end of the 2nd round, almost the 3rd round. And look, I've shown you guys this graphic before. Jackson Smith and Jigba torching our defense. This is why we're overhauling. This is why you double dip. This is why you spend 2 back-to-back picks, 29th and 61st, overhauling the secondary, remaking the look of this defense for Chris Shula, finally giving him the kind of personnel he needs on the back end. And how about, consistent with that theme, finally investing with our 3rd round, 93rd overall pick into a spot in which it has been consistent for less need to just not really invest, the linebacker spot. Jacob Rodriguez, 3 consecutive defensive picks for this team. You build on offense with the final missing piece in Makai Lemon at 13, and then you turn your attention to what really needs work. Take the luxury pick, and then you take the 3. You eat your vegetables, so to speak. Colton Hood, Dillon Thieneman, Jacob Rodriguez, this is eating your vegetables. And look at this dude who eats up run game. 70 stops in the run game, 7 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 94 tackles. He was all over the field for Texas Tech in 2025. This is the kind of presence we need in the middle of our defense. Landman was it at times last year, but he damn sure wasn't in the NFC Championship game. We didn't have that guy in the NFC Championship game. We didn't have somebody stepping up, making plays, flying around the field and hitting people. And I think that could be Jacob Rodriguez. I'm honestly unsure in some ways. I know athletic profile plays into it for sure, but he was a Heisman candidate this year at Texas Tech at the linebacker position. We'd be lucky to get him 94th overall. This is a dude who plays with a ton of energy, a ton of heart, and brings the right kind of attitude, I think, to our defense. That hard-hitting, hard-nosed style. And when you add that in with Colton Hood, Dillon Thieneman, and Jacob Rodriguez all to this core, which already has some really strong players in the front seven, look at this draft, guys. I think this is money. I think this addresses everything we need. But let me know what you think. I want to hear from you. These are my 4 picks. We're going to do a longer mock draft. Like I said, we'll hit all 7 rounds. But just for now, I want to know what you think of the first 3 rounds of my mock. Give me a grade. You're the teacher today. Get your red pen out. A, B, C, D, or F. And don't just grade me. Give me a little bit of an explanation on why. Which picks did you like? Which picks were you not so fond of? And like I said, we hit 532 subs in our last video. It'd be unbelievable if we were able to beat it. I would be unbelievably impressed with you guys. It would blow me out of the water, and I know it would blow the bosses here at Chat Sports out of the water. So hit that subscribe button if you had a great time on today's video. If you want more Rams draft content, we are going to be here all offseason covering not just the draft, but also free agency, any trades the Rams make, and anything else that happens around your favorite team. As always, let's go Rams.